Hi guys, welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today I'm going to be bringing you a delicious bread recipe. It's a flatbread. In Greek it's known as lagana. Super easy to make, very delicious. This makes two flatbreads that, they're perfect for dipping in oil or dips or really anything. The ingredients are really simple. I'm going to make it in my tabletop mixer today, but you can definitely make this by hand. You don't need one, but if you do have one, by all means use it because first of all, you don't have to knead anything by hand. Second, it cuts the time much shorter. But if you are making it by hand and you're going to need to use a really large bowl, you're going to have to increase the kneading time from 7 minutes that the tabletop mixer does to at least 10 minutes. You're going to want to keep kneading until it's really nice and smooth, but it can be done without a mixer. Let's go over the ingredients and then we're going to get started. So in my mixer right here, I have 4 cups of bread flour and some salt. You never want to add yeast directly to the salt or salt directly to the yeast because salt kills yeast and we don't want to do that. I have some water, and you always want to do like warm, but warm to the touch water, never hot. So I have some water, yeast, and a little bit of sugar to activate it. And then last but not least, we're going to use some olive oil. I'm going to put about a 1/4 cup in here. Now, a thing to know about the yeast, make sure that you'll know that the yeast is activated once you see these foamy, cloudy bubbles forming on top. Anyway, so we're going to just mix all of the flour with the salt together, just to incorporate the salt in there. And then really simple, doesn't get easier than this. We're going to add our wet ingredients to the flour and the oil, and I like to add the oil into the same container that I mixed the yeast in, just to get anything that's left over out from there. And all we're going to do is we're going to turn the mixer on low, and I'm going to let this knead for 7 minutes, and then I'm going to turn it off and I'll show you what the dough looks like when it's ready. After 7 minutes, the dough should be really nice and smooth, and it will come together into one big piece like this. What we're going to do is we're going to transfer this into a bowl that we've rubbed with a little bit of oil, put it in the warmest part of your house until it doubles in size, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Alright, so once the dough doubles and rises really well, you want to punch it down, take it out of the bowl, and then this makes 2 loaves of flatbread. So at this point you just want to cut it into 2 equal pieces. And then it's going to be very easy to roll out. If you want to, you can take out a rolling pin and roll this out. What you want to have ready is 2 baking trays lined with parchment paper. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to roll this out to about the same size, or as close to the same size as the pan as you can get. I like to roll this out. I never like to roll dough with a rolling pin, especially when I'm making bread, because it kind of knocks out all of the air bubbles. And even though it is going to rise one more time, I just like for it to be really, really nice and light. So I'm just going to shape this dough into a large rectangular shape, as big as I can get it, as close to the size of the pan that I'm going to be baking it in. So you can just take the parchment paper as a guide. There we go, it's almost the same size. That is perfect. The best way to transfer it is to just fold it over really carefully and then just move it onto the pan. And then you could use your fingers to press it and stretch it out a little bit more, but that's perfect. We're going for a rustic look with this bread. So this is what we're looking for. I'm going to do the same thing with the next batch of dough, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cover this with a clean kitchen towel, and we're going to put it on the side in a warm place to rest for about 30 minutes until it puffs up a little bit. In the meantime, you want to preheat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have a cast iron pan, you're going to want to put it on the bottom rack of your oven, and that's going to be perfect for when we're going to pour water in it to create steam, which is going to create bakery quality bread. And then another thing that's really important, if you have a pizza stone, keep that in your oven also so it can warm through. If you don't have a pizza stone, and I lost my pizza stone in the flood, what I like to use is a big ceramic tile. Okay, so the dough has rested for 30 minutes and it's going to slightly puff up. Now, for the toppings, I'm going to use, for one of them I'm going to use rosemary. I have fresh rosemary here, but dried rosemary will do. Any other herbs will do too. You can use oregano or thyme. And then the classic traditional sesame seeds I'm going to put on top. I'm using white sesame seeds, but you can use a combination of white and black. And then we're going to need some water that we're going to brush on top of the dough. Before we get started, what you want to do is take your fingers and make indentations. Just press inside the dough to get that characteristic look of the lagana, just like that. We're going to do it on both of them. Very simple. And then we're just going to brush both loaves with some water. So now I'm using rosemary on one and sesame seeds on the other. You could do olives, really whatever your favorite topping is, you can use it, your favorite herb, but I like to keep it really nice and simple. So the best way to get rosemary off a stem is just to pull it off like that. So you can take the rosemary and you can either put it on top whole, or you can break it and it releases the essential oils and it just smells really nice. Like that. And then on the other one, I'm going to sprinkle a generous amount of sesame seeds. Okay, so you're going to need 1 cup of ice cold water. You need some ice and water in it, obviously. The pan with the dough is going to bake on the middle rack that has either the pizza stone or the tile, whatever you have in your oven. It's going to bake in the middle rack, and then you're going to pull out the bottom rack and you're going to pour the freezing cold water in the cast iron skillet, and that's going to create a really nice steam and give your bread a really nice crisp exterior. And it's going to bake for about 15 minutes or until it's golden. I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, so the bread cooked for 15 minutes in the oven. I did 1 tray at a time, and sometimes you don't want to think about the time as much as you want to look and see if it's golden all around. That's how you know it's ready. And then you want to let it sit and rest for a good 5 to 10 minutes, so that way it cools down properly. Now this is best served with any meal, but it's really nice used for dipping, and I have some olive oil over here with some olives in it and some black pepper, and I'm going to show you how it looks on the inside. It's really nice and crisp on the outside, and it's soft and chewy on the inside. Look at that. Best part. This bread is delicious. The recipe with all the exact measurements is on the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.